fun. I think he's going to win, and I think we're going to see him in the UFC very soon.
This is TJ the Spider O'Brien. My take on the Bramer-Mickle fight is it should be a great fight. Both guys are really strong. Both guys have great jiu-jitsu. Mickle's jiu-jitsu is really dangerous, but Bramer is a hard guy to submit. I see Bramer winning the fight. I don't know how he's going to win it, but he's going to win it.
Hi, I'm Joe Bramer. Getting ready for MCC reality check. I'm going to beat Chris Mickle September 5th. Been training all over. Been wrestling wrestlers. Been training with Josh Neer, Jeremy Stevens. Been training with Chris David at Des Moines Jiu-Jitsu. Been conditioning a lot. My weight's already lower than it was a week out from the last fight. I'm in good shape. It's basically going to be an annihilation. Going to go out there and going to do takedowns, kicks, punches, elbows, you name it. And I know I like Chris. He's a cool guy. I got nothing bad to say about him. I don't got no quarrel with him. I don't got no problem with him. But he's in my way, and I'm going to have to take him out, come out. Pop! Pop! He's going to... And going out in the woods and fighting grizzly bears for this fight. Been doing all kinds of stuff. Been going out in the woods and chopping wood. Been wrestling alligators, tussling with whales, doing all kinds of things. Twice a day, doing conditioning, running sprints, doing lots of conditioning, lots of rounds, lots of wrestling, lots of jiu-jitsu, lots of stand-up fighting. I've just been training real hard for this, watching my diet. I'm already down to 172 pounds, which I'm usually 175 the week of the fight. I'll be 165 next week, and that's the lowest I'll be in fight shape next week. Okay. I just want to thank my training partners, MCC, Des Moines Jiu-Jitsu, Des Moines Mixed Martial Arts, Pete at Round Kick, Spartan Strength, and I want to thank NutriShop, Insanity Fight Wearing 515 Built, and John Strami at Seven Flags, and that's pretty much it. So be there September 5th.
I'm going for the Army boy, Chris Mickle.
Mickle versus Bramer. That's going to be a great fight. I've sparred with both guys. Spent a lot of time with both guys, and both of them are tougher than nails. How I see the fight working for Bramer, he's got faster hands. He's a better stand-up guy. Very proficient with his stand-up and his kicks. Great stamina, good chin, very tough guy. He's trained at a lot of different gyms, well-versed in submissions. He's a very well-rounded fighter. He's going to have his hands full with Chris Mickle, because Chris Mickle is a very well-rounded fighter as well. His stand-up isn't as pretty as Joe Bramer's, but he has a way of bringing people into a brawl with him. If he wants to turn it into a brawl, it turns it into a brawl, and that doesn't work for Joe's favor. That works for Chris's favor, and Chris has a way of turning fights into a brawl. Bramer's got to be patient, and he is a very patient fighter, so that'll work for his favor. On the ground, I can see it being a draw. I don't think either one of those guys is going to be able to submit each other. Both of them are very good at submissions, but I don't foresee either one of them catching each other with a submission. I can see it turning into a stand-up fight. It's going to come down to who wants it more, who's got more heart. It's going to be 5 rounds of hell. Lots of slugging. I can see Chris chasing Joe, and Joe better be able to counterpunch and land heavy punches. He can kick really hard. He may be able to end it with a kick to the head to Chris. Chris is very hard to knock out. But I can see Chris just keep coming and wearing Joe down. You know who I think is the winner going to be? The fans. There you go, brother.
Hi, I'm Danny Anderson. For this fight, I think Mickle brings better wrestling, better cardio at times, especially at 155. And Joe brings more precise striking, more classic technical striking. I think it's possible in this fight that if Mickle comes in reckless and wild, he could possibly get taken out by Joe, because Joe is a very precise striker. But in all likelihood, I think Chris is going to take the fight deep into the rounds and outlast Joe, and hopefully be able to bang him out on the ground, or maybe catch a submission. I would say it's also possible that this thing could go to decision as well and be all over the place like they've both had 5-round fights in the past. But the longer it goes, I think the more Mickle has an edge if he can stay fresh. And without the severe weight cut and being at 155, that's a very good likelihood in this fight. Yeah, either way, I think Chris comes out on top.
I think Joe Brammer's going to demolish Mickle and MCC22 at next.
I'm Kevin the Fire Burns. You know, looking at the fight between Mickle and Brammer, Mickle brings a lot of experience to the cage. He's been in it with the best from all over the place, and you know, he's got a lot of experience both standing as well as on the ground. Looking at Joe, I've trained with him. I know at 155 he's a freak for his weight class, and he's really excelled and gotten a lot better technically at all different aspects of his game. I really see the fight being one for the fans. Definitely you want to be in the seats. It's going to be exciting. Neither one of them like to step back. They both move forward all the time and make an exciting fight for the fans and anybody that's really in the arena. So from that standpoint, it's going to be a great fight. I do think, though, technically, Joe's going to have an advantage in pretty much all aspects of the fight, and I really see Joe putting him away early. But, you know, Chris has been through a lot of wars, so seeing him take it in the later rounds isn't something out of the realm. But, you know, at the end of the day, Joe's going to win the fight. I see him winning. You know, it could be by knockout, it could be by submission. Joe can really do both.
Mickle's a better fighter, and I definitely think he's going to win.
I'm Pete Peterson. I coach at Round Kick Gym. I coach both Chris Mickle and Joe Brammer. And my take on the fight, it's a great fight for the fans. We've seen both guys in 5-round wars. Mickle brings sheer toughness to the cage. He gets hit, he takes it, he keeps moving forward. Great wrestler, he has submission skills, good hard striker. Joe Brammer, very, very well-rounded, great jiu-jitsu, great wrestling. He has the hardest kicks I've held pads for. Great hands. I see this fight being a 5-round war, and the fans are going to win.
I'm Chris Mickle. I'm going against someone that's undefeated, that's never went against someone my caliber. You know, I put together a pro record of 34 and 13 losses, 2 draws. My only losses are to the top people that fight in the UFC, WEC, Pride. Going in with a veteran, you know, a plethora of fights, and that aren't even on my record. You know, I fought in 2 different states as an amateur, just going around having 5-6 fights a week for a good year going, and then I, you know, come back from Iraq and turn pro and just put together a bunch of experience that Joe's not used to seeing. You know, he may won, you know, 6 different fights, but nothing to the caliber of me and the experience that I bring. We're going to go in and I'm going to take it to him, you know, like 2 cats in a bag, just going at it. I'm going to take him out, ground and pound him, go from a submission, and then when he thinks that I'm done and I'm tired, I'm just going to put it to him and just make him think that, well, he might as well just tap in 2nd, 3rd round. Hey Joe, September 5th, better pack a lunch. We're going at it. I'm putting you down the 1st round. See you again September 5th, Vets Auditorium. You know, MCC22. Your belt's getting taken, baby.
Oh yeah!